CERN invented that? All I know about CERN is what I read in Tyler's book. Never knew they were that amazing.
日本じゃそんなに馴染みはないけど、日本の研究チームも現在進行形で参加してたりするのだぜ。
セルンはどんな研究を？
基本的には素粒子物理学かな。世界でも唯一セルンしか持ってない超でかい実験装置を持ってるんだ。いわゆる粒子加速器ってやつ。低速汎用子蓄積リング、陽子シンクロトロンブースター、大型電子陽電子コライダーで、ラスボスは世界最大を誇る LHC ラージハドロンコライダータン。
Otaku possesses the ability to anthropomorphize in mo form just about anything in the world simply by sticking Tan on the end of its name. Daru's powers encompass even particle accelerators. Daru doesn't seem to notice my shock. He just brings up the next image.
LHC はセルンの地下にある全長約27キロのサークル状トンネルに設置された粒子加速器なんだよ。陽子同士をそのトンネルで加速させて衝突させることで未知の素粒子反応を起こそうって実験を去年あたりから始めてる。実験開始前はその実験でミニブラックホールが作られちゃうかもって噂もあったな。そのミニブラックホールに地球が飲み込まれる、宇宙がやばいみたいな。
Mini black holes. I'm pretty sure Tyler said his time machine used many black holes. Are the things about CERN true?
現実にそうなる可能性は？
あるわねえよ。セルンが公式に否定してる。もし仮にミニブラックホールが生成されたとしてもエネルギー量はすごく小さいから生まれた瞬間に消えるね。地球を飲み込むなんて全然無理っしょ。
だが火のないところに煙は立たない。
If I remember correctly, Tyler claimed that CERN began time machine research in 2001. In 2034, they complete the time machine. Right now, it's 2010. If they actually started that research, it would have been 9 years ago. According to their official announcement, they only began experimenting in 2008. That's suspicious. Of course, that's assuming Tyler's story is true. Some of Tyler's predictions were on the mark, but most weren't. I'm also perplexed by how everyone around me seems to have forgotten about Tyler's 2000 appearance. There's something important in Tyler's tale. Or at least, I want there to be. I take out my phone and put it to my ear.
俺だな。聞いて驚くな。悪の陰謀の匂いを嗅ぎつけた。ジョン・タイターとセルン。その2つの言葉から俺が言いたいことは分かってもらえるはずだ。ああ、そうだ。奴らは機関とつながりがある可能性が高い。偶然だと？おいおい、あまり俺を失望させるなよ。何？根拠だと？そうだな。あえて言えばささやくのだよ。俺のマッドサイエンティストとしての直感がな。奴らは世界を滅ぼそうとしている。ああ、ミニブラックホールによってだ。だがもしもその技術を俺たちが横取りすることができたらどうかな。当然だ。俺を誰だと思っている？すべてはシュタインズゲートの選択だよ。エル・プサイ・コングレー。
I put away my phone, then turned to find Daru give me an exasperated look.
お前は一体誰と戦っているんだ？
誰よ。俺たちのやるべきことは一つだ。
Just hearing that logo makes me happy.
やるべきこと？なんぞ。
なんぞではない。引き返すな。そこは全てを組んでにやりと笑うのだ。でないとスーパーハカーらしくないだろうが。
I wanted him to say something like, well, why the hell not? So, what's in it for me? And then we continue like this, grinning slyly the whole time. Me, a week's worth of potato chips. Dark, 10 days. Me, you sure are a glutton. Darrow, the dive makes you a hungry man. Me, deal, get started. Darrow, you got it. Boss. Or something like that. Yep, a real cool conversation. But the real word Darrow just purses his lips.
オカリンはいつも説明不足なんだっつーの。かっこつけるより先に分かるように話してくれ。
Work with me here.
お前はスーパーハカーだ。
ハカーって言うな。せめてハッカーにして。
あとは分かるな。
いや全然。
セル、ハッキングしろ。
Darrow stares at me in disbelief.
それはひょっとしてギャグで言っているのか？
ダル、お前ならできる。奴らの悪事を暴き、タイムマシンについてのヒントを手に入れろ。
悪事ってオカリンの妄想だろ
う。電話レンジカッコ仮をタイムマシンとして使えるようにするか、このままただの打作としてラボの倉庫で眠らせることになるか、今が分岐点だ。
マジで言ってんの？
俺はいつでもマジである。
I took Darrow straight in the eye as I answered. Looks like that made him understand my position. Darrow sweeps the garbage off his desk and sits up straight.
どうなっても知らないぜ。
Suddenly, Darrow was bursting with energy. It's like his earlier lethargy was a lie.
交渉成立だ。すぐ取り掛かってくれ。
うは、みなぎってきた。
報酬のポテチ1週間分はスイスの銀行に振り込んでおく。
Darrow doesn't respond. He's already deep in concentration.
じゃあ、俺は寝る。あとは任せた。
I lie down on the sofa and let the clacking of Darrow's keyboard lull me to sleep. I wake up to the twilight, sun streaming through my window. Skill, when operating in the mundane world, you're supposed to be discreet. You don't want them to notice you. Remember that something has taken 2,000 years to prepare. If it fails, everything will be wrong. Although I suppose that would make things interesting. A refreshing breeze blows in, softly brushing my cheek. Darrow's exactly where I left him before I fell asleep. He's sitting in exactly the same position. Not much has changed besides his typing speed. Oh, and now he's muttering to himself. I guess he hasn't had any success at hacking yet. I look around the room, but I can't find my earring. Maybe she's not coming today. I guess food-related grudges really do run deep. I stand up and stretch. I don't want to bother Doc, but don't say anything to him. take a cold Dr. Pee out of the fridge and quench my thirst. Then I threw myself back down onto the sofa and start browsing the channel on my phone. Oh, perfect time. Tyler is currently posting in the thread. The Everett Wheeler model is correct. Please pick it up to learn more. It seems you're all clinging to their preconceived notions of time. Time does not simply run fast from past to future like a car on a one-way street. To be more specific, the laws of causality do not allow contradictions to occur. If the result of an event, the effect, is changed, the event itself, the cause, also changes to prevent a paradox. That's why there are so few people who can observe changes in divergence. Divergence being the world lines percent different from the standard. Dydro, you claim to be a time traveler without any proof. Stock turns, please. I'm counting on you, Mr. Time Traveler. If you can't observe changes in divergence, then how can you possibly measure it? Oh, I know. Your time machine has a magical device that measures it for you. Lol. Oh, you still haven't explained how a research institution conquers the world. Details, plots. Oh no, humanity is doomed. What has science done? LOL noobs. Responding to seriously to troll thread, this Tyler guy's a shitty troll. Any people have anything to offer besides insults? How about contributing to the discussion? Leaving in scum. If you assume that time doesn't flow in a straight line, then the idea of a time travel is much easier to swallow. In such a scenario, a time machine traveling to the past doesn't need to fight against the flow of time. I say Tyler's points have merit. By the way, Tyler, I'd like to know more about CERN. What can you tell us about their current activities? Tell me which horse wins the next Emperor's Cup of my life savings. Everett Wheeler model equals many words interpretation. Basically, that means parallel words. With all the stupid name tags, this Hyonin Kyoma is more annoying than Tyler. You can call yourself John Tyler, but you're fluent in Japanese. Writing in English would at least make it seem more realistic. You can't do English, can you? Ask a favor, Tyler-san, my mom died last year in the Shibuya earthquake. If I stop my mom from leaving home, then I can undo her death. So please, lend me your time machine. You're gonna believe this time traveler without any proof? Are you an idiot? No one seems particularly interested in what I said about the flow of time in a single direction. That's proof that your preconceptions are deeply ingrained. Honestly, it bothers me that you simply accept that as the truth. I'm starting to understand why CERN was able to take over so easily. Whenever a major event causes divergence to change, the timeline is reconstructed to prevent paradoxes from occurring. For example, let's say that a major event causes this world line to diverge into a new world line. Let's call it world line B. On world line B, I'm afraid to say that channel never existed. As the timeline is reconstructed, all of your memories of reading and posting on the channel will disappear to be replaced with memories of you doing something else. In other words, by changing the present, you change the past. I wrote about CERN yesterday. The only thing that I can say is that you must not believe their lies. They have already succeeded at creating micro black holes. Kurigo Hane Kamehameha. I desire only to quench my intellectual thirst. Unlike you closed metaphors, I will reserve judgment until after I've heard what Tyler has to say. And then I'll make contact with Tyler and acquire his time machine for myself. The great mad scientist Hyonin Kyoma will have the last laugh. Suck his sleaze bags. Tell me stock prices or die. I won't believe you until you tell me. That's not reconstructing the world, you idiot. That's altering people's memories. Who the hell can alter the memories of 6.7 billion people? Do you even realize how stupid that sounds? I think I would have noticed if someone went and screwed with my brain. And what does any of that have to do with many worlds interpretation? Do some research, lol. Micro black holes, lol. Wait, if future's a wasteland, that means I can be a road warrior and ride a mod buggy, right? I'm gonna go get me a mohawk. Anyone know where I can buy spiked shoulder pads? I checked CERN's homepage. It says they're experimenting since 2009. Can they really make black holes? What the hell's gonna happen? Does Tyler have a mohawk? God, that's much. Are you implying our brains create the world? Are you seeing the universe as a giant tree and we're branches or something? That's some AVA level bullshit right there. Go back to 2036. Is this how you reply to a specific person? Thank you for showing me. Reconstruction of the timeline and alteration of people's memories. I think they're essentially the same thing. Why are you so intent on saying they're different? With a few exceptions, nobody can keep their memories across word lines. They are reconstructed along with everything else. When divergence changes, what's a road warrior? I'm immersed in the heat of the internet argument when an unfamiliar voice interrupts me. The door opens and a girl peeks inside. I recognize her. It's the girl I met yesterday at the Braun Tube Workshop. When our eyes meet, she smiles. Our tapping gets even faster. It looks like he's in the zone. It would be a bad idea to disturb him with our voices. I nod to the girl and hurry outside. What is this girl's name again? I think it was something like Aroma Amore. Alright, Amane Suzaha.
今、我が相棒である天才が重要なミッションを遂行中なのだ。邪魔をしたくない。
君たちって何してる人？
前も言ったはずだ。俺たちの秘密に踏み込めば貴様も危険に巻き込まれる可能性があると。
未来ガジェット研究所って言うんだよね。
なぜ知っている？俺は説明した覚えはないぞ。まさか貴様機関のスパイ？
I raise my guard and spring into praying mantis stance. The Suzaha just stares at me blankly.
下のポストにそう書いてあった。
そうか。
Lower my guard, but didn't she just say so?
知られたからにはしょうがない。簡単に説明しておこう。ただし、これは他言無用だ。
Suzaha nods firmly. Is it just me or her eyes gleaming?
我ら未来ガジェット研究所は世界を影から操る闇の機関に対抗し、その支配構造を破壊するために活動しているのだ。ふーはははは。
その闇の機関ってセルン？
そうだよ。
おお、やっぱそうなの？あいつら抱きすべき連中だよね。
She nods to herself for some reason. And contemptible. I thought I was the only one who uses words like that in normal conversation.
なぜ俺たちが今まさにセルンにハッキング中だと知っている？
ハッキング中なの？今？
Me and my big mouth.
いいからこちらの質問に答えろ。なぜ俺たちとセルンの関係を知っている？
それはいや実は昼間話し声を聞いちゃってさ、ここに立つと窓から聞こえてくるわけ。
A window. Come to think of it, it was open and Dara and I were talking loudly. But can you really hear us from here? I look up to the second floor. The window's still fully open, but I can't hear a thing. I guess Dara's working quietly. I look down. There's an unfamiliar bicycle parked in front of the Bronto workshop. One of those mountain bikes. Its frame is all sparkly, its tires mostly clean, it's probably new. It looks pretty fast, but whose is it?
私昨日からここで働き出したんだけど
Suzuha opens the Bronto workshop door with a wry smile.
これが予想以上に暇でさ今日だけで 4,5 回は外に出たね客来ないかなーって店の前で索敵しちゃったね
We kinda learned that this is a word you don't hear in casual conversation. Pretty sure it means to perform reconnaissance, scout an area, and gather intelligence. She used to come as a secret agent? I follow Suzuha into the store.
その時に2階から君たちの話し声が聞こえちゃったわけよ気になってついネットで調べちゃったセルンの黒い噂についてもバッチリ知ってるよ
Damn, we were careless. Looks like we need to close the window when we discuss sensitive matters from now on. But if we do that, the light will turn into a scorching arrow. Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
とにかく絶対に他言無用だぞ
Or else men in black will rape us.
あ、うんうん、わかったこれでも口は硬いから任せといて
Suzuha grins and thumps her chest confidently. All is quiet inside the brown tube workshop. That gigantic TV isn't on. Mr. Brown's not here either.
店長はどこへ
たった今君のテレビの修理が終わって出てったよ
Probably went to see the chipmunk. He disappears during business hours every now and then. Whenever I ask him where he's going, he always says something like, I'm picking my beloved daughter up from school, or my beloved daughter has a cold, with a huge grin on his face. He dotes on her too much. Probably just annoys her. Anyway, just how irresponsible can you be to neglect work to see your daughter? He used to put a back soon sign on the door whenever he left, but now he has Suzuha to take care of things while he's gone.
つうわけで直ったテレビはこれね
Suzuha lightly taps the TV on the counter.
お代は1000円でいいってさ
I baked cookies today. I had everyone in my family eat some and got their seal of approval. Would it be okay if I bake cookies for your lab friends? Master up. And it'll be great if you could teach me some techniques. With summer there. Whenever you have time. Yes, I managed 10 practice ones today. Damn manager. I bet he gave it to us just so he could charge repair fees. I reluctantly take a bill out of my wallet and hand it to Suzuha. She takes out a receipt. Apparently, it was already written out.
毎度ありじゃあ持ってっていいよ
まさか一人で持っていけと
え違うの持ってきた時も一人だったんでしょ
And you know it takes 10 times more effort to go upstairs than down. Defying gravity is no easy task.
手伝ってもいいけどそっかもう力仕事も女がやる時代か
She mutters, her tone pensive. How sarcastic of her.
誰も貴様に手伝ってもらおうなどとは思っていないというより貴様のような女子に手伝ってもらうことなどこの俺のプライドが許さん
おお
Applause.
今の男らしいじゃん私惚れちゃうかも
騙されるものか貴様嘘をついている
なんで嘘って思うの
そ それはこの俺の能力の一つ、カラーリングジェントルマンが反応したから。
Power allows me to see through lies. Liars appear to glow red, then they die.
能力
Suzuha's eyes pop, but then she clears her throat as if to hide her surprise.
それって超能力的なもの？
When I nod, she whispers into my ear.
あのさ、君みたいな能力者って他にもあまたにいるわけ？
いるわけがなかろう。この俺がスペシャルなのだ。
I thrust my chest out as far as possible to display my majesty.
そっか、あまたにはいないのか。びっくりした。でもいるって時点ですごいな。やっぱセルンのせいで退化したのかな。
After muttering some nonsense to herself, she finally nods in understanding.
でもさ、戦闘になれば相手の嘘を見抜く力なんて意味なくない？やっぱ 1000m 級の長距離狙撃を命中させられるとか、いかに効率よく相手の関節決められるかとかの方が重要だと思うな。
What the hell is she talking about? Is she a survival game otaku? No, wait, don't tell me.
貴様、さては機関のヒットマンだな。ミス・ゴルゴというコードネームで呼ばれているだろう。誰に雇われた？
いや、誰にも雇われてないし。っていうか、ゴルゴって何？
She's trying to gloss things over with an insincere smile. Her confusion is suspicious. That reminds me, I think I remember her saying some awfully disturbing things when we first met yesterday.
ちなみにさ、君の能力って他にもあるの？
あったとしても、俺を殺しに来たヒットマンに教えるものか。
君を殺しなんてしないってば。
己の能力を他人に教えるなど自殺行為にも程がある。しかも秘めたもの、相手に悟られぬよう使ってこそ初めて最大限の効果を得られるのだ。
ケチ。
何とでも言え。
Burning tension runs between us. Our eyes meet, invisible sparks scatter. Shining finger. Oh, Bacon, I want you to reply to me. I know I've been waiting, you know. And please tell me super happiness address when you can. If we don't get cracking, someone else might get the IBM 5100 first. More like that. And then an email arrives to break the stalemate. I turn my attention away from Suzanne. The ringtone is starting to piss me off. It's most likely from that veiled demon trying to clear your evidence. I can tell without even checking. This is getting ridiculous. She's got some stalker qualities, maybe split personalities. I shouldn't have given her my address. Look at Suzuha, and I see her lying on the counter. She's playing with something in the palm of her hand. It's like a small metal pen. Anyway, how can she be this lazy on her second day? I love CRTs. Was lied too, wasn't I?
なんか渋い顔してるね。死亡通知でも来た？
あ？
例えだってば。
She was just wondering if I got a death notice? How could she say that with a straight face? What the hell is a death notice anyway? Did those even exist?
嫌な知らせでもあったのかって聞きたかったわけ。
似たようなものだ。
The girl is hard to get a handle on. I really shouldn't let my guard down around.
IBN5100 というレトロ PC にやたら執着している女がいてな。
Suzuha leaves as soon as I speak.
IBN5100?
知っているのか？
あ、うん。
そうか。IBN5100 の都市伝説は有名だったのか。
Maybe that virtual PC is more powerful with female otaku than I thought. Popular, I mean.
そうそう、都市伝説で知った。君はどの程度まで知ってんの？
IBN5100 を実際に探し回ってみたが、結局秋葉にはなかったというオチは知っている。
そっか。そりゃそうだよね。
何か知っている口ぶりだな。
いや、知ってるような知ってないようなって感じかな。私は知らないけど、遠い知り合いが知ってて、それをちらっと聞いたことがあるみたいな。
Another insincere smile. I'm starting to think she's not a very good liar. You can tell she's lying whenever she smiles like that. Sure enough, she doesn't offer any other information. She just keeps that insincere smile plastered on her face.
貴様、何者？
Suzuha falls back onto the counter with a deep sigh. She slits at me from the position.
IBN5100 についてのさ、興味深い情報教えてあげようと思ったのにな。そんな目で見られたら教える気なくなっちゃった。
そもそも俺は IBN5100 になど興味はない。
I'm more concerned with CERN right now. Solving one Akiba's mysteries won't change anything about ruling the structure of the world after all.
貴様を信用できる要素が一つもない。その面白い情報が真実であるかどうかもわからない。
うわぁ、そこまで言う？確かに私、挙動不審だけどね。じゃあさ、教えないけどヒントだけあげるよ。そんで、分かりそうで分からないもどかしさに身もだえちゃえ。実は IBN5100 には隠された機能があるんだよ。
A hidden function? That reminds me. I'm pretty sure John Tatter from 2000 said something like that. I searched through my memories.
確か IBN5100 には独自のプログラミング言語がどうたらこうたら。
嘘！なんで知ってんの？なんで？
I only vaguely remembered, but looks like I hit the mark. I grin.
能力名サイズハンク。俺は貴様の心の内を読み取ることができるのだ。
何それ？反則！
For some reason, Suzuha covers her face with both her hands. She opens her fingers just enough to peek at me. That's not enough to escape my power.
すべてはお見通しだ。アマネスズハ。観念するがいい。
とにかく IBN5100 には隠された機能があるの。 AP エリアベーシックが普及する前に書かれた IBN の独自のプログラミング言語も解読できちゃうのってさ、驚愕だと思わない？
Now I remember. John Tatter said the same thing in 2000. And right after that, Ambient Engineer officially admitted to that function existence.
今や IBN5100 でしか解読できない失われたプログラミング言語があったりするんだよ。
The reason Tatter traveled to 1975 to attain an IBM 5100 was because he needed that function. Maybe Moeko wants to use it too. Maybe not. Shiny Finger doesn't seem like the type who'd know about that sort of function.
だから IBN5100 ってすっごくレアな PC なの。
While talking, Suzuha keeps dropping her glance to the metal pin in her hand. She rolls it around with her fingers. I guess that's a habit of hers. So, IBM 5100s are super rare. Maybe if I get one, I could sell it for a high price. That could be a good way to raise research funds. But first, I have to deal with CERN. Life in 2036 is very different from what it is today. Most people live on farms growing their own food. All forms of commerce and communication are restricted. There's no travel, no internet, no railroad even. Most people never see another town, let alone a city. Science continues to advance, of course. The vast majority of people do not benefit from that progress. Technology belongs to those who chosen by CERN and the Committee of 300. It's very peaceful, at least on the surface. There's none of the conflict you see in this area. There's no war. How is that possible? How did CERN resolve the situation in the Middle East? What have you got against world peace? It sounds to me like CERN's doing humanity a favor. This Titor guy stole a time machine from CERN, didn't he? He's the bad guy here. Dying of fire, terrorist scum. The world in 2036 is governed by CERN. All nations, even America, have disbanded their armies. To put it simply, civilization has returned to an 18th century level of technology and exists under a communist system of government. Except now, that system works flawlessly. Right now, you should be asking yourselves how that is possible. How does a system of government that collapsed in the 20th century exist without any discontent? The answer to that question is the real reason I am here. Yes, I am a terrorist. There are others like me who fight against CERN. We think of ourselves as a resistance, but there is no denying that our actions are a kind of terrorism. Anyway, want to hear more about the many worlds interpretation? You said it's proven by 2036. How? I knew you were a terrorist. How many have you murdered? What if my kids are among them? Maybe I really should kill your father to protect the future. Stop beating around the bush. Give us answers. You're one of those old men who participated in student riots, aren't you? Filled your head with a bunch of bullshit, and now you can't tell delusions from reality. Am I right? Delicious nationalist tears. CERN probably figured it out. They've got a time machine to experiment with it, right? That would make you no better than Titor. If you're willing to face the consequences, then go right ahead. Titor, question. Did World War III take place as scheduled? Why did you come to this particular time? Did you find an IBM 5100? Is John Titor plugging from the commies? I thought they went out of style years ago. I thought Titor was crazy, but this Ionian guy is even crazier. Get a room, guys. World War III LMAO. Isn't there supposed to be an IBM 5100 in Akiba? As I've explained, my goal is this time machine. No, my goal is time to change the future. I'm posting this to warn you guys of what's going to happen. Perhaps convergence will render my efforts meaningless, but even if one person pays attention, that's enough. World War III? Is that something I said on a different web line? Well, I'd like to thank you in private. Please email me when you have time. Of course, if anyone else would like to email me, feel free. Serious inquiries only. All I've been getting is email. Here's my address once more. "20 hours have passed since Daru started hanging. Nothing gives way to a refreshing summer morning. I glanced at Daru while browsing the channel. He's fidgeting even more. Now his legs are like pistons. His knees move up and down in harmony with a rat-a-tat-tat of his keyboard. Daru hasn't slept in about 40 hours, but he still won't get off his computer. I was going to ask him if he'd like a break, but his entire body is exuding an aura that says don't talk to me. I curl up in the bed and return to my phone. My discussions with John Titor are making any sense. Not even Titor himself seems to know about the Titor from 10 years ago. It's hard to imagine that everyone on the channel is conspiring against me. But how else can I explain it? Out of options, I decided to email Titor directly just as he told me to. He audaciously exposed his own address on the channel. I guess that's his way of saying bring it on. Anyway, you might question the difference between his posts and now his posts 10 years ago. The current Twitter hasn't even acknowledged the latter. I only vaguely remember them, but they basically went like this. In 2015, World War III breaks out. Many people die. By 2036, the world is a nuclear wasteland. John Titor travels to 1975 to IBM to obtain an IBM 5100. The 5100 was necessary to revive technology lost in World War III. The IBM 5100 has a hidden function, the ability to read IBM's proprietary computer language, which predates APL and BASIC. But only certain IBM engineers are aware of that function, so it does not appear in the manual. In 1998, Titor meets his younger self and his parents in America. Titor was a soldier who volunteered for his mission. Titor is an American. Furthermore, in 2000, Titor correctly predicted the outcomes of some future event. The Peruvian coast earthquake in 2001, the election of a new pope, the outbreak of the Iraq War, China's advances in space, and so forth. Though he only talked vaguely about each one, they all came true. On the other hand, other predictions went unfulfilled. For example, the Y2K bug, civil war in America, cancellation of the Beijing Olympics, the inauguration of America's first female president in 2009, and so forth. There's more, but let's leave those aside for now. I'm gonna ask him why those predictions didn't come true. Alright, listen to now. If he can't answer to my satisfaction, then the current Titor is an imposter. This is your litmus test, John Titor. So what are your true colors?
トゥットゥルー、おはよう。
My Yuri comes. Looks like she's forgiven us experimenting on her food. She's back to her usually smiley self.
こんな朝早くからどうしたのだ。
2人が2日連続徹夜って聞いたからね。差し入れ買ってきたよ。
So I'm gonna stop here and thank you for watching.